Hi, and welcome to Saturday Morning Cartoons with Kate. I'm so glad you're here. It's sugaring season here in the Berkshires, which means that folks are hanging up buckets on our maple trees and tapping the sap to make syrup. So today, we're going to be drawing one of those buckets and a maple tree. Let's get started. Draw along with me. We're going to start with our bucket, so we'll begin about midway down our page and slightly to the left, making a diagonal straight line. From the bottom of that line, we'll draw a short curved one to make the bottom of the bucket. Then, let's draw another slightly diagonal line upward, stopping where the first one does. Our bucket needs its protective lid, so I'll start that by drawing a slightly curved line over the top of my bucket. Notice how the line reaches out slightly on both sides. To create the top of my lid, I'm going to the left side first and drawing a small line up, and then continuing on with a straight line to the right, stopping over the first lid line. Then I'll connect the top and bottom with one more short line. I want to show how this bucket was made from one large piece of metal, so I'll add a straight line detail towards the back of the bucket and some dots to show where the metal is bolted together. Great job! You have a bucket. Now we'll start our maple tree. Trees are naturally irregular and bumpy, so I'll start on one side of my trunk with a long, wavy line reaching up to the top of the page. Next, I'll float my pen over the bucket and continue that same wavy line down into a slope to show the edge of the tree's root. Back at the top of the page, I'll float my pen over again and choose how wide I want my trunk to be. We'll make another long, wavy line heading straight down the page, ending in another curve to show the bump of the root. There is still snow on the ground around my tree, so I'm going to build up piles of snow by drawing little curves around the base. Add however many you'd like and place them around your tree's base. I do want to show one side of my snowy ground continues behind my tree, so I'll use the floating technique again to make sure my snow lumps are working together. This shows me where the ground starts and stops. I'm going to add a few more curved lines to show some more roots sticking out from the ground. Have fun with this and imagine where your tree's roots might poke out. Next is our tree's bark. I'll be making a series of squiggly lines that travel vertically up our tree. Take your time with this part and have fun building up the lines. All trees are unique, so if your lines don't match mine, that's perfectly fine. Just make sure they all go up and down, and leave a little space in between each one. I'm even adding some little curves at the end of some of my lines to show where the bark might have a natural knot. All trees have wonderful, varying textures, and no two are exactly alike, just like us. At any point, if you feel like you need to slow down, pause the video and take your time. Notice how I start and stop some of my lines to create more variation. As I'm finishing up my bark, I'm thinking about more details I might like to add. I'm going to put a few lines on my bucket to define the shape a little bit more and suggest that it curves a bit. This also shows us that there might be a shadow here. I'm going to add some extra lines on the lid as well. Great work! You have a maple tree and a sugar bucket. Let's add some color. I'll be moving through this section quickly, so I encourage you to pause the video if you'd like and take your time coloring your tree and bucket. Use whatever you would like to color with best. Today I chose markers. I'm choosing brown for my tree, using long strokes to fill it in. I'm using the detail end of my marker to fill in any little details I may have missed. Next, I'll use gray to fill in my bucket. I'm going to leave a little highlight in the middle to show that my bucket is metal and reflective. You have your very own sugaring bucket and maple tree. Great job! Here is the bucket and maple tree in real life. I visited one of our local sugar houses in Lenox, Massachusetts called the Millbrook Sugar House. There, I chatted with Bill Markham, whose family has been tapping trees and making maple syrup for 42 years. Even though they have the old-fashioned galvanized buckets like the one we drew today, Bill's family uses hoses and more modern equipment to gather and process the syrup they sell. Special thanks to Bill and his family for the tour and the syrup. Thanks for joining me. I hope you had fun. Until next time, keep drawing and I'll see you soon.